Okay, let's practice some reading together. Now, why am I doing this exercise with you? It's quite simple. I would like you to practice your pronunciation and also your reading skill. That may come very useful. Now, let's get straight to it. I'm going to read the text and I'm going to concentrate on two sounds today, okay? Just two sounds, not to overwhelm you. Now, can you read this with me together? We will read it again. Okay, so don't worry. Let's have a look at what we have here and how much of the text you can understand. Here we go. La télémédecine est une nouvelle façon de consulter un professionnel de santé. Grâce à Internet, les patients peuvent parler avec un docteur depuis leur domicile. Gabriel juge que c'est pratique, surtout pour les personnes qui habitent loin d'un hôpital ou qui ne peuvent pas se déplacer. La semaine dernière, elle a consulté un médecin en ligne qui lui a posé des questions, donné des conseils et envoyé une ordonnance par mail. Elle a pu gagner du temps et être soignée rapidement. Okay, so we've read the text quite long, but not difficult. Okay, it is a text which is at B1 level. Quite happy with that. So let's have a look at sounds. Today, I'm going to concentrate on the S and the J sound. But before we start, let's have a look at something I've prepared here. When a S is followed by E, as in the E, or E, as in the I, then you must pronounce it S. So, S and C. However, if the S is followed by U or A or O, then it's a Q or K or Ko sound. Okay, so we are going to put a K here, sound. Okay, in order to make the CU sound like S instead of Q or Ko or K, okay, for example, Q or K or Ko, okay, then we add what we call the cedilla. So the little 5 under the C is going to soften the sound to su or sa or so, okay? But you will see that in a minute in the text. Double S is a S sound. When you have a consonant and a S afterwards, it's still a S sound. But if you have a vowel and a S and a vowel, it's a Z sound. Okay, let's have a look at this. Here we go. La télémédecine. Here we go. You know, here you've got a C and an I. It's a sound. It's a S sound. Est une nouvelle façon. Here we've got a C and an O, but to make the S sound, we've added a cedilla. Can you see it? De consulter. Okay, here we've got a consonant and an S. It's a S sound. Un professionnel. We've got two S. De santé. Now here, it starts with the S. We've got to pronounce it as that. Grâce, again, CE as a sound, ce sound, à Internet. Les patients. So, I omitted this one purposefully because it's one of those special words such as sion and sion. When you have a T, I-E-N-T, sometimes it's a S sound. Okay, so here we have patient. We don't say patient, we say patient. Peuvent parler avec un docteur depuis leur domicile. Again, C-I, it's a S sound. Gabriel juge que c'est pratique, surtout pour les personnes qui habitent loin d'un hôpital ou qui ne peuvent pas se déplacer. Again, when you have S-E on its own, it's a S sound. Déplacer, C-E is a S sound, not a K. We don't have an O or an U or a next to the C. That makes the sound K. La semaine dernière, elle a consulté. Again, have a look at the pattern here. We've got a consonant here and an S afterwards. So we say ce. Un médecin, see I, en ligne. I'm going to cover the G in a minute. Qui lui a posé. Okay, so here we've got vowel, vowel, and one S, so it's the sound. Des questions, donner des conseils et envoyer une ordonnance, c'est I, par mail. Elle a pu gagner du temps et être soignée rapidement. Right. So we are familiar with the S sound now. Let's have a look at the je sound, which is in orange in my text here. And I want to go to this. Now, the je sound, you can repeat this if it's too fast for you. A bit like the se. If you have a je or G, okay, a J, if you have a G, okay, with an E, or a G with an I, then it makes the je sound, okay? G, E, je, G, I, J. However, if it's followed by U, A, or O, it's no longer a je sound, it's a gu sound, okay? Gu and ga and go, okay? So you may say, but what if I have a U and I want the je sound but not the gu sound? Well, it's very rare when you have those words, but usually it has an E just before that. You have it in Georges, for example. Can you see that? If you did not have the E, you would have gorge. And gorge is a throat. Georges is a person. Okay? So the other things that you see in the text is a G and an N. So a G and N together make a ñ sound, okay? Ñ sound. And you see that in a text. And I have highlighted that in orange. Let's have a look at it again. Let's have a look. Before we read it one last time, we have grâce. G-R is G, whatever happened. But here we've got Gabriel and not Jabriel, okay? Gabriel because it has an A after the G, so it's a G sound. However, in juge, because it has an E after the G, okay, we have to have the je sound, a softer sound. So juge, okay? And then we have the G and N, or G and N is a ñ sound. So we read this word as ligne, not ligne, ligne. Can you say that? Perfect. Now have a look at gagner, which is to win. It has an A after the G, so we say ga and not ja. And GN is ñ, so gagner. And soigner, again, ñ sound. All right? So today's lesson is all about practicing your S and your ñ and your je and your g sound, okay? Have a look at the text in full now and see whether you can read again the full text with me. Are you ready? Here we go. As slow as you want, it doesn't matter, okay? You can accelerate this if you want it faster. Okay. La télémédecine est une nouvelle façon de consulter un professionnel de santé. Grâce à Internet, les patients peuvent parler avec un docteur depuis leur domicile. Gabriel juge que c'est pratique, surtout pour les personnes qui habitent loin d'un hôpital ou qui ne peuvent pas se déplacer. La semaine dernière, elle a consulté un médecin ou médecin en ligne qui lui a posé des questions, donné des conseils et envoyé une ordonnance par mail. Elle a pu gagner du temps et être soignée rapidement. Now, how was that for you? Very good. Right, remember that there is a guide attached to that with the translation of the text and some key grammar element to it. Click on the join button to find out more. If you want more of these reading practice videos, click here. Wherever. That's it for me. Au revoir. À bientôt. Bisous, bisous.